If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, is there a perfect time to leave the company that you're at to look for a new job, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento. So here's the thing. There are times where the place or the opportunity you're at just doesn't work out. You might not get along with the manager. You might not believe in their business philosophy. You might not be able to sell under the conditions that they want you to sell. They might be an unethical place and you're just like, I don't want to work here anymore. I don't believe in their message. Okay. Whatever the reason, we're just going to put that in a bucket right here and just say, it's time for you to move on. Okay. So let's say it's the beginning of the year and it's January. Okay, cool. January can be a good time for you to leave. January can be a fantastic time for you to leave, but be aware you're heading, like, especially here in Sacramento, so your industry, service, location may matter a lot. January going into February is where it typically slows down, okay? So February could be a fantastic time to switch companies. So there starts a beginning, like, where do we start to move to leave? February's a good month. And then, so like, if you're like, okay, what I want to do is I want to give the company an opportunity 60 days minimum. So you start a new company February 1st, you're going to know roughly by April 1st, which is 60 days, if that company is going to be a good fit. And so, some advice may be to be like, look, stick it out, see if you can make it work for 60 days. And if not, look for a new job at the end of March, because then you got March, April to find an opportunity that can give you 60 days. And if that doesn't work, then you've got May, June. Okay. So there's a couple of places that I've had to work in my previous employment history where I've had this bounce that I started at one company at the beginning of a season. And for whatever reason, we'll just put this bucket over here. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. So I was like, okay, what's the strategy to move on? I will share with you a common mistake that most people make, but before we do that, you should go to hvactechsecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not a Facebook group, not a YouTube channel. That's an email publication. Type in that URL, hvactechsecrets.com. It'll ask you for your name, your address, your phone number, like super things you already know. Super important things you already know, okay? So the reason I bring this up is a lot of times when salespeople, technicians are struggling, they stay at an opportunity too long. And they try to fight it out and they try to make things work when they're probably not going to work. They're probably not, for whatever reason that goes into that bucket, probably just not going to happen. So you want to give yourself the best opportunity to sell. And, what you don't want to do, though, is to be the person that you're constantly moving from company to company to company to company to company. You do want a place of stable employment. You do want a place to say, like, hey, I like it here and here's the things that I want to do. Okay. So there have been some companies that I really liked, but I couldn't stay there. There's been some companies that I really disliked and I was glad that I left. So what you're going to find is whenever you leave, it gets easier the next time. And that can be detrimental to you because you could just forget it. I'll leave. I'll do whatever I got to do and I'll just move on. And then eventually you run out of companies that have meaningful leads or meaningful relationships that you could work with. But here's the mistake that I see people make is, let's say they leave a company in March, things are not working by May, and then it's the busy season. And then they stick it out and it didn't work through the busy season. And then it goes all the way to the end of summer and then there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. There's not a conversation to be had. So there is timing involved with you leaving, like the perfect time to leave a company. And there's a perfect time to start with a company. So it happens again in the fall, right? October, November is a good time to go work for a company and start in a position. November, December is a good time. But what ends up happening is you got to start looking at the downturn. Now, is this an absolute? No, because nothing is. There's going to be some this doesn't work on a Wednesday on a full moon when I stub my toe getting out of bed. That is true. But if I had to start all over again, knowing what I know now, is if things don't work out in 60 days, it's time to biggity bounce and go find a place that it does. I worked for a place that I knew in the first week that it wasn't going to work out, but I stuck around for a long time and lost my butt during the summer. Okay. And so was not a good place, was not a good opportunity for me. And I really wanted it to work. I couldn't make it. So be aware that sometimes if you figure out hey, this isn't a good opportunity in the first week, you've got to make some changes. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button. Click on it. Every time I send out a video, you get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.